Could Rupert Lowe change everything? Now this could be big. Rupert Lowe has finally, after much speculation, thrown his hat into the ring in terms of setting up his own political party called Restore Britain. And that's going to be, I think that's going to be big. Now, the UK landscape is, as you know, I'm sure, very much changing in ways that we haven't seen, really, for many, many years and decades, in that reform has basically eaten everybody's lunch for the past couple of years. The Tories, the Conservatives and Labour, who are currently in government, hugely unpopular, of course. Not that the Conservatives are any more popular, really. Reform under Nigel Farage has taken up the majority now. It seems in the polls they're at the majority, or have been for the past while, of the voting base, geographically, in the UK. Now, the problem that many people had, and I was one of them, is that can you trust Nigel Farage? He's got strengths. Yes, he has achieved the Brexit thing. He did take a lot of credit for that. But is he the man to not only get a thing over the line, which he did with Brexit, he then didn't stick around. He just bunked off. He retired, said, my job's done, I'm out of here. Fair enough. Now he's come back into the frame and he's done exceptional work in terms of getting reform to the place that it is. But many people thought that he was wishy-washy, he didn't go far enough, and with the recent defections from the Tory party especially, many people were saying, look, he's basically just a slightly different version of the Conservatives. And with his track record, one could be easily forgiven for doing that. There's always, I felt, a bit of the car salesman about Nigel Farage. And also on top of that, his treatment of his own elected MPs, especially Rupert Lowe, was, I felt, very, very underhand and very despicable. It seems that he doesn't work well with strong characters and strong personalities who know what they're about. Now, Rupert Lowe, I have been an admirer of for the past while. I've watched a lot of his interviews, and he's a man who's in politics for the good of his nation. I fully believe that. He doesn't need the money. The man is a self-made, very successful businessman. He was the chairman of Southampton Football Club for years. And he also has a very, very successful business, and businesses, I should say, mainly care homes and retirement homes and stuff like that. He made pots of money. Doesn't need the money. He's not in politics for the money. I firmly believe that, and he has said that many times. But he has connected with a lot of people because he's saying things that many people just want said. He doesn't shy away from taking on the critical issues. He doesn't play nice. He just says it as it is. And he's very well spoken, he's very measured, he's very articulate. This is a very interesting combination. If you're not familiar with Rupert Lowe, just check out this video that he dropped the other day. See what you make of it.
What is necessary will be incredibly painful. But for the first time in a very long time, voters will have a genuine alternative which is truthful with them about the scale of what now has to be done. The first priority is to control who comes to our country, and more importantly, who stays in our country. Restore Britain will not just stop mass immigration, we will reverse it. Every single illegal migrant will be securely detained and then deported. The message will be unrelenting. If you are in this country without our permission, you will be removed. For the foreseeable future, far more people must leave Britain than arrive. If a foreign national is unable to speak English, lives in social housing, claims benefits, refuses to work, fails to integrate, commits crime, or even actively hates our way of life and wishes to do us harm, then they must leave or be made to leave.
All right, so there's a bit of a flavour there. You can see he's an erudite man, well-spoken man, an articulate man, a very successful man, and he pulls no punches, because we're at the stage now, both in Britain and in Ireland, where really the old rules don't work anymore. I've said this many times, you've heard me. And there's a thirst, there's a yearning for somebody or some party or some group of people to come in and just get the difficult task of fixing the situation done. And it's a huge task, because the rot has gotten in so far. It's a huge undertaking. And that's why many people have become disgruntled with Nigel Farage's approach. He's now influxing a lot of the old guard from the main parties, who one could argue could be rats leaving a sinking ship and getting on the lifeboat. So a lot of people are sceptical of that, and I am one of them. I follow it just generally, because what happens in the UK has a massive effect on us here. Massive, absolutely huge. So we are becoming very intertwined and intermingled in that we're both in dire straits, and both our nations and our peoples have our backs against the wall. We have been pushed to the edge of the abyss by our political class in both places. So that's the truth. So I'm very excited by this. And the other day, I think yesterday or the day before, Ben Habib came out. He's the leader of Advance UK, which again was a sort of a more strong version of Reform. They, again, thought Reform was wishy-washy. Now, my good friend, and you'll know him well from this channel, Nick Buckley, is currently running as a candidate in a by-election in Denton and Gorton in Manchester. Nick's a great guy. Great guy. I have a load of time for Nick. So Ben Habib announced the other day that it was his intention to merge the Advance UK party into this new Rupert Lowe-led Restore Britain party. So I must get chatting to Nick about that. I'll try and get Nick on, because he was a candidate for Advance, so I assume he's now a candidate for Rupert Lowe's party, which is great. And Nick is a great guy. If you're watching from that area and you have a vote, Nick is sound. He's all right. Nick is a guy, man of the people, and he pulls no punches. And I think that we're at the place where we need guys, men and women, who pull no punches, are not in it for the money, just want to get things done, regardless of what pain we need to go through, because there's always pain. You look at the birth of the Irish nation. There was so much pain involved, but the men and women of those times understood that they had a plan, they had an ideal, they got it done. They took it on, they knew what they were about, and they got it done. Now, Rupert Lowe, I suspect, from what I've seen so far, and you can let me know in the comment section what your views on this are. And the latest thing that is floating around the Ethernet, which would be a biggie, is that it seems, it's rumour at the moment, that Jeremy Clarkson may throw his hat in the ring too with Rupert Lowe and become part of that scene. That's going to be big. You're building a real no-nonsense team there. If you've got people like Rupert Lowe, you've got Nick Buckley, you've got Jeremy Clarkson, Ben Habib's a great operator too, and I'm sure there's many other people in the fold. I don't know. I think there could be something here, guys. I think there could be something here. And this could catch fire. This could catch fire, because Reform, yes, it stormed into this massive lead. And because the other two parties are absolutely rank and nobody likes them. But a lot of people are saying, look, Farage is a bit kind of twitchy, and a lot of the moves they're making are a little bit Tony Blairish, so we don't think that's the time for that, is long past, all that wishy-washy, trying to be nice to everybody type stuff. Rupert Lowe is not that guy, and we need to watch that here in Ireland, because we are so entwined with the UK. We have a common travel border, a common travel area. We can go back and forth, and that's becoming a big problem for both of us, because scam artists and spongers and people from all parts of the world are coming to leech and off us, both of us. They're moving to and fro. They're hiding crimes. They're creating all kinds of problems. And then if it gets a bit touchy over there, they come here and vice versa. So we are both in this together. We are both in this together now. Let's make no bones about it. We are. If Rupert Lowe does make noises and gets a bit of traction and maybe gets into power, into a coalition, the changes over there are going to be, I feel, huge, unprecedented. And if that even looks in any way likely, there is going to be a mass exodus of spongers, criminals, scam artists, and basic parasites who are going to flood into Ireland and just sink us without a trace. The island, we may as well sink into the sea. And we have absolutely nothing to grab onto over here. Absolutely nothing.
Let there be no doubt about where Ireland stands. We want nothing to do with a backward-looking idea of sovereignty.
All the main political parties are, like in the UK with the Conservatives and Labour, they're absolutely a disaster. They're filled to the gills with useless people, weak people, careerists, narcissists, and people who have absolutely no interest in anything but themselves and their careers. We aren't even at the point here of having a Farage, never mind a Rupert Lowe. So it's really not looking good for us. And our politicians will not stand up to anyone. The EU basically pats them on the head like a pet poodle. And that's the way the EU want it. So this is going to be one to watch. And I'd love to hear your comments on this. What do you think of this? Could this be it? Because Rupert Lowe is a man to be reckoned with. Make no mistake, he's a man to be reckoned with. And this could catch fire. And if it does, we here in Ireland, not having any remotely similar political figure, are going to be in all kinds of trouble.